Welcome to lesson 7.4, where we're going to be taking a look at parentheses in number sentences. Starting out with our joke of the day. Why was 9 so mad at 7? Well, because 7 ate 9. How unfortunate for 8 to be eaten like that. All right, to go ahead and getting us, we're going to go ahead and start out with some reflexes today. You'll be doing this in your notes section of your math notebook, or you can be doing it in your head. We're going to be taking a look at how many tens or how many hundreds is equal to something else. So if we had 12 hundreds, that would be equal to what? And it would be 1.2 thousands or 1,200. So let's go ahead and take a look at the example of 11 tens. Go ahead and think about what this could be. 11 tens would be equal to 110. Or we could say 1.1 hundred. Taking a look at our second example, 13 hundredths. What would that be equal to? Well, 13 times 10 is going to be 1,300. Or we could say 1.3 thousand. Just a different way to look at numbers. Math message today, you're going to be taking a look at your math journal, which is going to be on page 219. And I would like us to look at problems 1 and 2. We need to go ahead and make these number sentences true. So they have to be equal. One side of the equation must be equal to the other side. Now, in order to do problems like this, you always need to work from left to right, just like we read. We always are reading from the left and we move this way as we read. But there's exceptions. If we ever find parentheses, we always need to do what is inside the parentheses first. So if we take a look at our example, 7 minus, and in parentheses, 2 plus 1, parentheses, we need to do what's in the parentheses first. So 2 plus 1, which is 3, and now we're going to go ahead and work from the left to the right, because now we will have 7 minus 3. Okay, counting up from 3 to 7, we should get an answer of 4. Now, taking a look at that same problem, except now we have just shifted our parentheses. Now, instead of being at the bottom with around 2 and 1, we're going to put it around the 7 and 2. And let's see how the number or our answer changes. So do the parentheses first. 7 minus 2, which is 5. And then we add our 1, and we get an answer of 6. So you can see how when we do have two different we have the same equation, but we put parentheses in different spots, how we can get different answers. Going ahead and doing the next one, C. Once again, we're going to go ahead and do our parentheses first. So 7.5 plus 1.5. Well, I would add 7 plus 1, our whole numbers first, which is 8. And then we need to add our halves together. So we were at 8. Add a half, that's 8.5, another half is 9. Now we have to go work from left to right, so 2 times 9, which is going to be equal to 18. Taking a look at that same problem, but we put the parentheses around 2 and 7.5. So go ahead and do that first part of 2 times 7.5, or 7.5 and plus 7.5, which is equal to 15, and then we add 1.5 to get 16.5. Hopefully, after taking a look at those first 4 problems, you're seeing the importance of looking at parentheses and seeing that you do the parentheses first, because it will give you a different answer than what you maybe had first thought. Taking a look down below to number 3, Tom had 4 cans of soda. He went shopping and bought 3 6-packs of soda cans. Which one would represent that? If we know we're talking about cans, 3 6 packs, that'd be 3 times 6. So which one do we do 3 times 6? And then we're adding on that additional 4. This would be the example that shows that. Now let's go ahead and check our work with the second problem. Tom had 4 6-packs of soda cans, and he went and bought 3 more packs of soda cans. So he already had 4, we're adding 3 more, and then we're multiplying it by 6. A lot of you thought that parentheses were only used when we're reading or writing, but hopefully now after looking at our math message, we have seen that they are used in math and the importance of them being used. The big idea is, remember that operations inside parentheses are always done first. They are the most important part. So let's take a look at a few examples. True or false? 6 times 6 plus 1 is equal to 43. Remember, parentheses first, so we're going to do 6 plus 1, which is 7, and 7 multiplied by 7. 7 times 7 is 49. So it is actually false here. Now, taking a look, we have 2 sets of parentheses. We're going to do our parentheses first, and then go ahead and add them together. So let's do 2 times 4. We should get 8. And we're going to add that to 5 times 8, which is 40. Now go ahead and add the 2 of them together, 8 plus 4. Well, once again, that's not going to be 88, so that is false. One last example. Do the parentheses first. 6 plus 2 is 8. And we're going to add that times 2 times 2, which is 4. 8 plus 4 is not going to be 32, so this is also. Now, sometimes you might see where there are 2 sets of parentheses. These are actually going to be called nested parentheses. So they are together. There are 2 sets of parentheses inside of each other. The last example where we had 2 plus 3, and we multiply that by 6 plus 4. This is not an example of nested parentheses. Nested parentheses are parentheses inside parentheses. If you ever get an example of nested parentheses, you should always do the innermost first, work on the outside, and then work left to right. So in this example, if we were to step through a nested parentheses problem, 6 plus 4, which is going to be 10, then we're going to work our way outward and do times 2, which is 20. Then we are going to multiply by 3 to get 60. Here's an example where you might need it in a word problem. Sometimes our word problems can become more complex or more difficult. It might take more than one step. So Miss Gibbs bought 27 apples for her students, and each cost $2. Then she decided that she didn't want to be healthy all the time, so she bought them each a lollipop too for $1 each. How much money did Miss Gibbs spend on her students? Well, a way that we could set up this problem is to take a look, and we know that we have 27 students. And each student is going to have an apple that costs $2. So are we going to add 27 plus 2, or are we going to do 27 multiplied by 2? Each student is going to cost $2, so that should be multiplication. So we're going to go ahead and put that in parentheses because we know we have to do that first. And then we can add the 27 students that each got a lollipop, which was $1. Okay, you see how we put in our 2 sets of parentheses because we needed to know that we had to do this work and this work first, and then we can add the 2 sections together. You are going to have to go ahead and work on page 220 as an in-class activity. Be ready to describe and talk about how you know which problems match up with which parentheses. Think about, is that a realistic answer? Big idea, make sure that you always do operations inside parentheses first. So taking a look at this example, we would do 6 times 2 first before we add the 8. I would like to wish you good luck as you get started on page 220. Also, just to let you know that you are going to have to do 3 math boxes today. You're going to do problems 2, 3, 7.4. All right, problem number 2 is working on a stem and leaf plot. You might want to get that started first and then think about your landmarks. Remember, median, put them in order and meet in the middle, minimum, smallest, range from the largest to the smallest, and mode, most frequent. Taking a look at problem number 3, using your geometry template and measuring that angle. Think about, is it an obtuse angle, so larger than 90, or is it acute, smaller? And then also taking a look at number 4. 4 is more of a challenge to do the best that you can using your SRB page at the bottom to help you.